Hi, I'm Julie Kenya with Stock and Options Solutions, and today I want to share with you how to create a better repeatable process using an Excel workbook. We have seen over the years a number of workbooks that have been created or Excel files that can be quite cumbersome to maintain over a course of years or even quarters. In general, what I'm talking about is a workbook where you're adding data to each row. In this case, you're adding a new employee and a new department, and you're adding some data that is maybe in the background here. You can't, in this particular case, there's calculations happening, and then we have total expense for that person in that department, and we have it calculated by each quarter. You'll see this little comment up here, which is typical of workbooks that we've seen, where the instruction to the user is, don't forget that you have to take the data from these rows and you have to sort it by department. And the reason for that is because they've created a summary at the bottom of the workbook itself, or the actual tab, where they've created a summary down here of the individual expense by departments. And each one of the summaries within these little boxes points to a specific set of cells, and that's based off of the sorting. This is very prone to error, and it's very labor intensive each time that you're using this, because if you are simply inputting data or importing data, either way, and you're bringing it into, let's say, these grayed out columns here, and these columns are a calculation or the end result. Your summary, somebody has to remember to not only sort, but to go down and change in your summary where your data is coming from or pointing to. And that's just open to a lot of messiness, if you will. And as this gets bigger and bigger and more data gets added, you've got to keep pushing this down and readjusting and changing sort of the look and feel of your workbook. So an easier way is what we like to call a detail versus summary. And what we do is in a tab, we create a tab where we simply just maintain the data. So this again may be something where it is a report that you simply run out of your equity system for whatever reason and you plop it in. It's all set, ready to go. You bring in columns A through D and you have your total expense that's been popped in here as well. And so you have the detail in one tab, and then we create what we call a summary tab. And in the summary, we actually put the departments that we want to summarize for, making sure that they have the same format as in the detail tab. And we literally use our famous SUMIFS formula. This is what we just love this formula. And we summarize the data from the detail tab, and you can see here where it's saying go to the expense detail tab, column E, and pull in the expense for Q1 that is reflected or aligned to the expense detail new column B, which happens to be departments, and matches matches cell A3 in this tab here, or R&D. And I do that for each one of these individual departments. And then what happens is if I change the data over here and I add to it, or if person's department changes, or if I just want to keep adding new people to the bottom of my report here, and I don't want to have to go in and sort it each time I run this, I just simply take the data, plop it in, and my summary will actually re-summarize automatically for me. The other thing this can do is I can summarize this particular data here, just these tabs of the departments, and I can do a check by going back to my detail tab and saying, give me this summary of column E. So in this case, it's going to summarize column E, which happens to be the same number, the 20,402. That's in my summary tab. So that's your check that you're pulling in all of your data. It's easier to work in this sort of a format because you don't have to worry about, like I said, sorting any data, or if you change any data. All that you do is you just keep adding more data to it if you have to, and the summary will pick that up as necessary. You can add more departments. You can add more people, you can add more columns of information, and you can of course add that over here as well and just keep growing. So I hope that's been helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. Thank you.